So first of all, I think Bitcoin is, even though it's kind of simple, it's very hard to wrap your head around it. And so people use all kinds of metaphors to try to tell other people what Bitcoin actually is. I always liked what Beauty on had to say, that Bitcoin is, and that is enough. So people will project all kinds of things onto Bitcoin depending on their understanding and worldview and so on. And as you said, Bitcoin is obviously tied to energy, and it's tied to energy via computation and electricity. So energy and electricity are also not the same thing. And I think when people say stuff like Bitcoin is a battery, they just want to point to the fact that it uses real energy, something you cannot print, something you cannot duplicate easily, something you cannot just make more of just out of fiat, so to speak. And I mean, Michael Saylor famously said it's like a battery, but more like an economic battery. That's like it. Bitcoin is tied to energy via its security mechanism, and you can put energy into the system, and then you have money, and you can sell the money to buy energy wherever. Like you said, it is very transformational for energy markets and for energy production and so on, for electricity production in particular. The government interference when it comes to the issuance and the control of money is the root of all monetary evil, and so that's what Bitcoin fixes. Bitcoin removes humans from the equation when it comes to the issuance and the flows of money, the control of the flows of money. And so Bitcoin is about removing money printing from the equation, and all other coins reintroduce money printing, and they have small teams and small pre-mines or large pre-mines or 100% pre-mines. They have people that are in power, and they have companies that are behind the decisions, and they decide what the issuance schedule should be, how much is printed when, and who gets it first, and how it is redistributed, and so on. And so they are even though they are lumped in the same category by mainstream media and many other people, they are complete opposites. Bitcoin and what is called crypto, quote unquote, they are complete opposites. The one is about fixing the money and removing the ability to print money and to steal from those who use the money. And the other is about reintroducing all these ills and just printing it in more obscure ways, and just in ways that people do not understand easily because cryptography and technology is involved. I hope it will lead to a more sound society. It is sound money, and I hope that it will reduce the nonsense, broadly speaking. And a lot of politics is nonsense. Mostly, basically all of modern economic theory is nonsense. Jeff Booth has this saying that abundance in money leads to scarcity in everything else, and scarcity in money leads to abundance in everything else. And I truly believe this, and I think this is what we're seeing now. If the money is broken, everything else becomes money. So we need good money to fix society and many things that we use and need to use in our modern daily lives. I think that Bitcoin is transformational also on the personal level, because you suddenly have to learn about money and economics and personal finance, and then it will lower your time preference, as Seyfedin likes to say. So suddenly you realize that Bitcoin is actually the stable system, and you can rely on Bitcoin. And I know personally Bitcoin will be there for me in the next 30 years, next 50 years, and so on. And so suddenly you can plan into the future, and you know that the system itself is stable. Ignore the price. You can always have access to Bitcoin, and suddenly you have a solid foundation, and it allows you to plan for the future. And you know that no one can steal from you, which allows you again to plan for the future, which lowers your time preference, which means you don't, YOLO things and just spend all the money that you have just, for the moment, just for this one night, and you buy all the things that you actually don't need and so on. And we see this all around. And the second side of this equation, it's not only about time preference, it's also about responsibility. Because the other side of the coin, the freedom coin, Bitcoin allows you to have an insane amount of freedom, but you need to take the responsibility on your own shoulders so that you have this freedom. You need to hold your own keys, you need to run your own node. When push comes to shove, you probably also need to provide your own hash rate and those kind of things. And you need to understand how the system works, how to use it properly. And Bitcoin only works if this responsibility is decentralized, if every individual takes this responsibility seriously and uses it in a serious manner. And I think the 1-2 punch of responsibility and lower time preference is truly transformational for many individuals, and that's why I think we see families transform, people transform, companies transform, and I think in the end all of society transform.